Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the podcast. To you, I'm your host, Avankita. Today, we are accompanied by an amazing guest with us. Her name is Joanna Jacob. She is currently studying BSc Psychology in NYMS Mumbai, India. She's in third year. She's actually one of my classmates. Being the class representative is her identity in college. However, she's also a mental health enthusiast. She talks about her mental health journey with mixed anxiety depressive disorder, MADD, and she lives by the motto kindness over everything. She tries to be empathetic, and yeah, she loves animals. And she, as far as I know, everyone knows her as someone who's extremely kind and sweet. And it's an honor to be and to have this conversation with you. Welcome to the podcast, Joanna.
Thank you. It is an honor to be here.
How are you doing?
I am doing better than before.
That's amazing.
As the past week has been a little mentally, I don't know what word to use, but yeah, mentally tiresome maybe.
College gets very hectic, and thank you honestly for taking time out to have this conversation with us today. To begin with, I would like to ask you, could you tell us a bit about your mental health journey and your diagnosis with MADD and such?
Yeah, so my mental health journey started when I was in standard 11th and I was introduced to psychology. So I knew something was up with me since I was in standard 9. But um, I wasn't sure what was up with me until I got introduced to psychology and depression. So 11th standard went by and I didn't do anything about it. But it was during the lockdown when my mental health just went for a toss. And once in an argument, I just blew up and blurted out that I have depression to my parents, and I have depression, and you guys don't even do anything about it. It wasn't their fault. I had nobody had any idea that something's up with me. But after that argument, not that day, but the in the next week, my parents got me a psychiatrist. My psychiatrist spoke to me. Then I took a test, and then a psychologist and psychiatrist, both of them sat together, told my parents what's up with me. And also, then I was put on medication. After medication, after about a month of medication, I was asked to start therapy. I started therapy. I've been on and off therapy, and currently I have found a great therapist, and I have restarted therapy. I only had one session with her, but she's great. And I am still on medication. I had my by 2021 I was off meds, but then again my nothing really changed after that. So I had to be put back on meds. So I am still on medication now, and yeah, it's getting easier, I guess, but I'm getting used to it.
Okay, fair enough. So you were about 17 when you were diagnosed with MADD.
Yes, I remember that.
How has mental health healing looked like for you, especially in times of COVID at that time?
Uh, mental health healing. Yeah, I had online therapy, and so during COVID, I was very unproductive. I didn't do anything at home. And even 12th standard was during COVID, and it did not start till like September. So I did not do anything at all. And even with online classes, I used to sleep the whole day. That just made everything worse. But once I started therapy, everything had opened up a little bit. So I started going on walks in the morning, and I started building a strong support system, like with my friends. And I started being more open about my mental health. So even people around me were very supportive. So that is why I could somewhat heal but then I fell back into the same pattern. Hopefully, I'll get out of it soon.
Okay, fair enough. I hope you're able to come out of it and have a smoother way about it, because healing isn't linear, and we know that healing isn't linear, right? But when
I don't know.
us, oh my god, it gets so annoying.
I know.
Yeah,
If I have to advise other people, it is very easy. I can say a lot of stuff, but when it comes to me, I wouldn't take advices from people. I have to feel it myself to start working on myself.
right. Yeah, and it's sometimes for other people who haven't gone through something so intense or something like they haven't personally experienced it. It's very hard for them to empathize with us, like in general, like people who go through depression or have certain episodes or any mental health disorder for that matter. It's so much harder to empathize for it. So how has your support system looked like, ever since, like, after the lockdown, even during the lockdown? How was your emotional support system?
Support system, my parents have been extremely supportive.
Mm-hmm.
My sister have been extremely supportive. I haven't told my grandparents about it, but because it is their generation, take the time for them to understand, and I don't really want to fight with them. But they have also been great with me, my grandparents. And I have three friends in my colony. They have been like the perfect support system I needed. Currently I have pushed them away. So it has been like around 3-4 months since I pushed them away, and they still kept checking on me till last 2 weeks. But then, without any reason, I pushed them away. It is very obvious that after a while, people will stop checking on you because they feel like this person doesn't even respond. What is the use? So they stop checking on me, but I know that they are there when I need them. Then there is this one person I can always go to. I met. I'm not going to mention the gender, so uh, I met them then around 2021 only I met them, and ever since then I have depended a lot on them um emotionally, and I think it's just that one person I open up to. Otherwise, I don't really open up to anybody else. So yeah, my support system has been great. That is one thing I can say. Even in college, I have two different groups, one in batch one and one in batch two, and both the groups have been so great,
Yeah.
so helpful. It's just very heartwarming. And in 2022, I got a cat.
Yeah.
That that is one emotional support for me. And in 2021, a dog came into my colony. He didn't come into my colony. We rescued him, and he also has been a very big emotional support. So you can say animals have been very emotionally, soothing for me, and the people around me, they're just great.
That is so amazing. I'm so glad that you have such a strong emotional support system. And animals certainly do help. Yeah. We're so cute. Whenever she's like around, or whenever I think it's a male, right? Point. Whenever he's around, we would love to have a good camera. uh,
He was, I mean, while I was talking about, I think, the mental health journey, he was right there jumping on the sofa. You will see it later.
yeah. So so managing college in general is just hard for anyone, and managing college and like just relationships, and just life, adulting is hard. When it when you add on to the another level of dealing with depressive episodes or anxiety episodes, how it gets a lot more harder as well to cope up with everything. So how do you manage to be functional, and how do you manage like college and your other commitments when you're going through a certain episode?
So I had an episode very recently. It was during our ICA week.
Yeah.
I missed the ICA because when I have episode, it is not just mental. It is also, the physical manifestation of whatever is going on in my head.
Mm-hmm.
So this time, anxious depressive episode that I had was the worst because I could feel the anxiety in my entire body. I would wake up in the middle of the night and I could feel the anxiety try to pull me down. And I would just stand up and start walking because I could not sleep after that. And that one week, I was very weak. I could not get up and come to college. And I missed the ICA because even if I had the guts to get up and come to college, sitting there giving the ICA would have been another stress for me. And if anybody in college has noticed, my friends know this because they have noticed this pattern. Every time ICA week is announced, I always end up missing the ICA week. Either I have dengue or I have fever or something. It is something related to physical health, but it is definitely my mental health manifesting itself, into physical weakness. So otherwise, if it is not that major, I push myself to get up and get out of home because I know if I'm at home, the anxious episode will get more. So I get out of my house, I come to college because coming to college is another trip for me. It is like 1.5 hours. So I come to college, I let my friends know that I am having an episode. Please make sure I'm coming to college. And when I am at college, they will take care of me. They'll be like, have you eaten? Have you? And they'll make me laugh. There's just random things they do. They'll make me laugh. They'll make me uh very just I don't know. It's just easy to be there. And in my colony, my friends will just come and sit with me. They won't do anything. We don't do anything together. We just sit with each other. I'll be scrolling reels on my phone. It's just the assurance that the person is there next to me. It is very comforting. Even if that one other person who I open up to very much, that person, they will call me at night. They'll make sure I have slept. So they will be on call until I'm slept. That is something I need at that time because at night I am extremely vulnerable. I need somebody to put me to sleep when I'm having an anxious, depressive episode. That is what how I cope with the episode.
I'm genuinely happy that you have such a strong emotional support system and you have such good caregivers as well. Because navigating through all of it alone it's not having a support system is so precious.
Really very grateful for the support system I have, even if I am pushing them away, and even if right now I might not be having that tight support system, but I still know that I can fall back on them, and I'm extremely grateful for them.
Yeah, no, I'm so happy to hear that. And because so one of the things that I see that so if you hadn't spoken about your diagnosis in class, or if you weren't so open about it, we would not have known that there are certain things that happen. Because to the outside person, to a person's perspective, you seem to be a very functional person despite the episodes, right? So there's often this thing where people assume that if you're going through depression, you're not really a functional human being. What are some of your essentials, if we might call it that, that help you keep going on those days? I mean, of course, letting your friends know and your family know about it is one. But what are some essentials that you follow yourself that keep you going?
Some essentials that I follow myself is first thing is to get up and get out, because that is one thing that is the toughest to do when you're having an episode. So I make sure I get up and get out, and during those days I do not feel like coming back home early. So so I have certain money kept aside for days like that. It is my depression savings. I have money kept aside, and I go on solo days. So if we are left from college early, I will go to a cafe. I will carry my laptop with me so that either I can sit there and finish my assignments, or I can watch a movie, just be by myself. And my solo dates will include, once I went to Mount Mary because I wanted that kind of peace.
Yeah.
So I went there. Like Mount Mary, the church was shut, unfortunately, but I stood outside, I prayed, and I want the candles too, and I prayed for everyone. And yeah, my day looks like that. My solo dates looks like that only. I discover cafes in Bandra. Bandra is my favorite place to go to when I am having an episode like that to for solo dates and solo dates in general. So if you ask my friends in batch one, they will definitely tell you how self sufficient I am because everybody will be crying कि अरे यार हमारे साथ डेट पे जाने के लिए कोई नहीं and everything. I'll just go and sit by myself and have fun because I really don't feel that I need anybody to go on dates. I can go alone and that works for me. So that is another essential going on solo dates. So next is I don't know why, but I start cleaning.
Okay.
Clutter does not. I don't like clutter when I am depressed and anxious. So I start cleaning. I do that. And then I I focus on my cat so much that my cat gets fed up of me. I will look at every single detail, whether his fur is okay, whether he has any fleas or ticks. He has never had fleas or ticks, but I will look for it. I will anyway look for it.
Yeah.
And then I will look at his nails and I start cutting his nails. He does not like that. I will focus myself on him, that to over focus myself, and he does not like it, but that helps me. And I think that's about it. I don't remember much because I overschedule myself.
Okay.
That is one thing I can say. I overschedule myself when I feel like I might have a depressive episode coming, or I have an episode which will last longer. I overschedule myself. No time to think. You'll come back home and sleep. That's all. You have no time to think at all. Because if I sit and think, because of because it is not just depression, it is also anxiety, it gets very bad. So I overschedule myself. That is why you will see me in college running around from one place to another because I have scheduled myself for two things at the same time. And somehow I managed to do it too because I do not want to be free.
Right.
And even when even when the professors do not want me to do extra work, I'll be like, no, ma'am, I'll do it. I want to do it. I want to do it. Just give it to me. I'll do it.
Yeah.
Overscheduling is something that has helped a lot.
So
But it is also unhealthy.
okay. Yeah. I hope that it, gives you, like, it serves you in ways though, apart from overworking yourself, because sometimes that would just lead to suppression, and that in long term does not work out well. So yeah. So your essentials are self dates, your cat,
Like,
and overscheduling.
lifting up. Overscheduling. And the first thing is getting up and getting out. That is an essential. That is something I have to do.
I relate with the overscheduling part so much. It's like overworking is the way to go. We get a lot of work
But
done.
no, I see your story. I see your story and then I'm like, this girl is exactly like me. Then, I mean, overscheduling myself, this is exactly what I would do.
Yeah, no, it's keeping yourself busy definitely helps. But like recently, I've just been focusing on not keeping my every single hour scheduled. Otherwise, every single hour would be just scheduled, and sometimes even my breaks are scheduled, which is just it's bad when your breaks are scheduled. So
Exactly. Yeah.
yeah. So I've been like working on therapy now to have, we call it like moments of nothingness, where I try to find an activity where I can just exist without it helping me in my career in any way, which is so hard to do it. But like it didn't have like some sort of benefit for me in terms of growth. It's just you're just doing it for the sake of it. So one of the things is mandala art. So I just color sometimes, and it makes me feel like a kid again.
That's actually great. I mean, I want to start painting again.
Yeah.
But it's just that college has left me with time.
Oh my God, tell me about it. College barely lets you do anything apart from college. So,
Yeah, I mean, the timings are all up and down. And then other than that, we have so many assignments to do. It's like you have no life other than college.
yeah, that's like a conversation for another end. I remember when you and I were talking in class, you mentioned that you developed a fear of therapy. Could we dwell a little bit more?
Okay, yes. So, I have always been like, go to therapy. Everybody, yeah, everybody who comes to me and is feeling a little, I'll be like, go to therapy. You will be fine. You will get the tools and you will know how to, work on yourself.
Yeah.
You can do it yourself. But when it comes to me, I won't go to it. The last year and the past few months, the previous therapist I had, she was a little, um, how can I say it? What should I say? What's the word? Inconsistent. She was a little inconsistent, and I couldn't reach her most of the time. She would be busy. I wouldn't get appointments. So that was one thing. So when I would get an appointment, when the appointment is nearing, I would cancel. Saying that my college, and I can miss college and go.
Yeah.
Professors will understand.
Yeah.
But I'll be like, no, 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 I cannot miss college. Oh, I have church, I have to do this, I have to do that. And I will just not go. So I realized that recently why I do that is because I do not want to open up about my issues. Like I said, I open up about my issues only to one person. And even to that one person, I am not completely opened up, which is frustrating for that person too. Because I will not open up. I will be sitting here dwelling in my own anxiety and depression. I won't take help either. And it is obviously very frustrating with the person in front of you. And it is that frustration that made me, take a step back, think about what I'm doing, and analyzed myself. I did not want to open up. I did not want to address my issues. I did not want to start working on myself because I know it is a very, very difficult thing to do and it will require efforts from my side. But because I am so anxious and so depressed, I do not have the energy to do that.
Right. Yeah.
And so so I analyzed all this and I was like, this pattern cannot keep happening because to address those issues, the issues that I mentioned right now, I will have to go for therapy. But I am scared of therapy. So it's just like a vicious cycle.
Right. Yeah.
Um, I finally decided to break that vicious cycle and just go for therapy. I was like, that one person, they kept telling me that, you need to end this vicious cycle. You just need to show up to therapy. Just show up to therapy. That is all. What you say that, what you don't say that does not matter. You show up. So that's what I did. This Wednesday, I had an appointment. I showed up. And God knows what I spoke, but I understood a lot about myself.
I'm so
And my therapist was great. She was just amazing. I really liked her.
I'm so
Glad I found a good one. And I'm also glad that I showed her. And I'm planning to go for therapy every 15 minutes.
I am genuinely so proud of you, and I hope you're able to stick through and go to all the sessions regularly. And I hope it's beneficial. Even if you skip one or two, give grace to yourself, show compassion. It's okay.
Yeah.
But
I also cannot be too light on myself because I have been and I have been slacking off a lot. I have to get back on track.
you're gonna figure it out, I'm sure. With the work ethic that you got this. What's your advice would be for someone who is going through MAD?
Uh, Build a strong support. And one thing is that do not keep it within you, inside you, because it will eat you up. It will eat you up, and then just don't let it get to the point where drop to rock bottom. Address it when you start feeling something is wrong, so that you can get out of it sooner. Because the longer you wait, the deeper you keep falling, and it is more difficult to get out of it by that time. So build a strong support system, uh, address your issues, and talk to someone at least. at least someone. I mean, eventually you should go to therapy, yes, but I know that starting you will have doubts regarding all of it. Just talk to someone, just to vent out. You do not need advice. You do not need to listen to people. Just talk to someone, just vent out, just let it all out, because keeping it inside you is just going to crush you. So, it's real advice, and I'll give you. Well,
What's your advice will be? What would you tell your 17-year-old self when you were newly diagnosed?
when 17-year-old self, I say, just read up more about MADD and read up more about psychology in general, because now I am able to say stuff like this. I'm able to use technical terms because I'm in my third year of BSc Applied Psychology. 17-year-old me only had basics of psychology. So read up more and you stick with your support system. Even if you feel like pushing them away, push them away for a little while, but let them know why you're doing it. That is one thing that is very important. If you're pushing people away, push them away, be alone, work on yourself. There is no issue. There is no issue with that. Just let the other person know, because you don't know what the other person is thinking and what the other person is feeling about themselves. Just let the other person know why you're doing that, and you do not even have to tell them how long you're going to take to come back and start being normal with them. Just let them know, and I'm pretty sure everything will be fine. And also, to my 17-year-old self, it is going to get worse, but you're also going to meet such amazing people, and you're going to hear such amazing stories. So it is going to be worth it to come till here and just go on. Don't give up.
Thank you so much for sharing your journey with us. We are coming towards the end of the episode, but before that, is there anything that I might have missed out on you would like to, dwell a little deeper, maybe, or something, anything?
I don't think so. I mean, I have covered everything. I also do not remember how the stuff I have said. That is me.
I guess just this has been so great. It has been very insightful, and I hope it reaches out to all the people who need to hear it. Where can people find you?
People can find me on Instagram. Right now I am off Instagram, just taking a mental break. But by the time this episode releases, I think I will be back on Insta, because I cannot be away from Insta for a long time. But my ID is Joanna G_24. And I'm also on LinkedIn, Facebook, and every other platform over there.
All right, perfect. Thank you so much. I'll be linking Joanna's Instagram in the description below. Do reach out to her. And this has been such a nice episode. This has been so wholesome, and yeah, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me here. I mean, this is the first time I have spoken about my mental health journey like this. Otherwise, it is just one-on-one or through my writings and my poems. I have never really spoken in so much depth and detail.
This is a start for many wonderful things to come.
I hope so. I'm really proud of you for doing this. Like, your podcast is amazing. It is an honor to be a part.
Thank you so much. And yeah, we're coming towards an end of the episode. Thank you so much for everyone who tuned in towards the end. You can reach out to us on Instagram. Email everything will be linked down below. You can find us on Instagram at @beautifulyou.pod. And if you're listening to this on Spotify, if you like the episode, do give us a 5-star review. It helps us reach out to more like-minded people who benefited with it. And we are the month that we're releasing this episode. It's in October, so we're releasing one episode every week to celebrate World Mental Health Day and to celebrate the whole month. So do tune in. We have more stories coming in, and yeah, we are also on YouTube. So if you wanna listen to the video episode of it, you can find us on YouTube. The link will again be in the description. Thank you so much. I will see you guys in the next episode. I love you. Bye.